Part 14 of When a Broken Angel Was Forced to Marry a Merciless Mafia. Author point of view. Last 2 days were very tiring for Taehong. Your father and brother were forcing him to end this marriage. Jin put the condition for him to leave Mafia. He decided to not follow anyone, but his father's words were now disturbing him so much. And the only satisfaction for him was you and the relation between you two that was growing in love. A smile made a way to his lips when he remembered moments from last night. Da, those voices of her, my princess. His face hardened at the knock, and Ta, come in. Stila stepped in and gave him an envelope. Stila, someone dropped this for you. He ripped it and passed a stare to Stila, who was still standing there. He took out an item in that envelope after Stila left. That was a picture of a child and a letter. There were just few words. I will come soon to take what's mine. Ah, what nonsense is this? He put that aside and get busy with the work. Soon his heart was anxious. A strange fear about you rushed into him. Leaving everything there, he walked out to go home. You were in the lounge when he came. Seeing him back so early, you left your place and he ran to you. Jean, what? He hugged you, taking your feet off the floor and inhaled your fragrance. I missed you so much. Jan, it was just few hours and you are so dramatic. Even a second without you is heavy. You giggled and asked him to put you down. From tomorrow you will come to office with me. I cannot work there without you. Your arms were around while his were around your Jan. No way, office is so boring. Then you can work and also I will be there to lift up your mood. Jan, what? Is this a trap? Ta, you are already in the trap. He leaned, and the moment he touched, servant called his name. Man, sir, actually, Miss Yan's brother, Tehang, who was already furious, gave him the deadly stares. Jan, Oppa, man, we are trying, but he is not leaving. Jan, why you didn't tell me? Let him in. You removed Tehang's hand, but he again took you in hold. Relax, Jan. Jan, but why they weren't letting him in? That man was trembling under Tehang's gaze. He closed his eyes in frustration when Jin stepped in, with guards trying to stop him. Jan, jerking off Tehang's hand, you ran towards him, and guards left. Jani, I am sorry, Oppa. Did they stop you? He embraced you. If one could kill with stares, then Tehang would be dead till now. And Jin, yes, because of Tehang's orders. You looked back at him, who poked his inner cheek while his eyes fixated on Jin. Jan, Tehang, he firmly walked towards you too, pulling you towards himself. He wrapped an arm around you. If you are done, then leave. He sternly asked Tehang, you cannot stop me to meet my sister. A brother shouldn't force his sister to betray her husband, Jin, a husband who was forced over her. Your eyes widened when Tehang punched him. Jin tried to attack back, but he held him by his neck, lowered it, and hit his knee into his stomach. You yelled at him to stop. Jin hit his head in Tehang's chest and pushed him back. Soon they were tangled up. Jan, please, someone stop them. Servants gathered, but nobody dared to interrupt in fear of Tehang. Jin raised and hit Tehang's body onto the floor and sat over him, but Tehang easily switched the position. Jan, Tehang, sitting near them, you grabbed his arm. Jan, please stop. Above his shoulder, he looked at your face that was wet in tears. He had a cut on his nose and near eyebrow, but Jin's condition was worse. With a blue eye, Jan, leave him, you shouted. Putting his Pulling his hand from your grip, he stood tall. You helped Jin and asked servants to bring first aid kit. Tehang strode to his room. Jin, you want to live with this animal. Shan, I know the tough time you and Dad are giving him. His life is already a mess. Stop making it worse. Jin, now you are justifying a criminal. Jan, Opa, I just Jin, whatever. He was leaving when you came in front of him. Jan, let me treat you. Jin, no need. He walked past you and you sighed, looking at his back. Jan, seems like he is fine. These men. Coming inside the room, Tehang shattered everything that came in his hand. Ta, what did I do? He lost control and now he was blaming himself with losing more control. Turning upside down the whole room, he sat on the edge of bed. And yeah, why these people are strangling the life around me. Door opened and he fisted his hands, looking at you. His looks made you nervous as you approached him. You put the kit aside and took out a wet cotton pad. Standing near him, you pulled up his hand and tapped the pad over his knuckles, which were bruised. Jan, stop looking at me like this. Yeah, like what? Jan, like you will eat me. He chuckled, adoring your beauty. Ta, what are you doing here? You should be with your brother. He hissed when you intentionally tapped roughly. Jan, you did wrong. You gasped when he suddenly wrapped his arms around you. Ta, I am really sorry. Your hand was in his hairs while his head was against. Ta, I don't know what is happening. I am not in my senses these days. The affair is engulfing my heart all the time. I cannot even sleep. It feels like a monster is aiming to attack. It's dark and I cannot see anything. Jan, Tehang, you called his name when you felt wetness. Was he crying? He pushed his face harder to hide his tears. Jan, Tehang, look at me. Taking deep breaths, he looked up. You sat in his and put your hand on his cheek. Jan, everything will be all right. I am here with you. He never leave me alone. Jan, why would I when I love you so much? Jan, I am so scared that something bad will happen and you will be snatched from me. Jan, nothing like this will happen ever. You applied medicine on his face, cuts, and he snuggled. Jan, you should try to sleep. You are overworking these days. You forcibly tucked him in the bed. Tehang was sleeping for the last 5 hours. You were with him as he wasn't letting you go, saying that he is afraid. You came downstairs to cook something for him. Hearing Tehang's name from the kitchen, you stopped at the entrance. Tehang father, he thinks I am not his father. Definitely he would. You are not my first husband. He was 8 years old when I got married to you. Your head spun hearing all that. Tehang father, and what about the shocks I gave him? Huh? All in vain? Shocks, an 8 years old child. Your heart sank way too down thinking about Tehang. Be careful before he finds more. Tehang father, and if he does, I can live without him, but I cannot see him hating me. Your heart was beating to your ears. How can a mother say that? Don't worry. You took a step back and collided with a vase. They turned, and you ran before they would see you. Stepping inside the room, you locked it, and slid down against it. Your mind and heart were at war that whether they saw you or not. You rubbed your chest with your hand while your eyes were tightly shut in utter fear. Hearing that conversation, the story that made up in your mind was horrifying. Shan, you flinched at your place. Taking deep breaths, you opened your eyes and saw him leaving the bed. Getting on your feet, you jumped into his arms. He was taken aback by your sudden outburst as you were crying badly. Ta, what happened, Jan? His parents' words were hammering in your head. Your heart was beating fast, and he tightened his arms around you. Ta, tell me, princess. You looked at his face. Jan, I love you so much. Ta, I will not say it back until you tell me why you are crying like this. You shake your head and again hugged him. Jan, nothing. I just got scared. Ta, in daytime? Jan, yes. Without you, it's so scary. He hummed, but there was no way that he will not try to find what made you cry like this. You had no courage to tell him what you heard. How he will endure that. He trusts and loves his mother, and she is such a. His heart ached, thinking how he suffered through shocks. The pain he felt in all these years was beyond any words. What is truth? Who is real and who is fake? It was all messed up. Tehang was determined, and you were now scared for his safety. His own parents were a danger. To be continued. Thanks for watching. You people are really amazing, and your love is very precious. Love you a lot.